Welcome to another campfire chat. Let's get into it. Hello, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for taking the time out to tune in and click on the videos. Just put my water on the boil now for the fire. And today's campfire talk is all about bartering items. My top 12 bartering items you can use in a total societal collapse or SHTF situation. You're talking civilization's collapsed, fiat money is gone, so what can you use to buy goods and services that you need, or supplies? Exchanging goods, items, services, whatever it is, for something that you want in exchange. That's what bartering is all about, isn't it? It might not be an SHTF situation. It could be just that the world's gone mad and all the governments are now trading in central bank digital currencies, where the government knows everything that you're buying, spending, who from, where from. They can control that spending, what you can buy, what you can't buy. So you might think, no, I'm not going into that. I'd rather barter or exchange or trade certain items for something that I need. So that could be another situation where you need bartering. But we're going to think along the terms of society's collapsed, grid down, SHTF situation. What is my top 12 items you could use for bartering in that sort of situation? Let's dive into it. Right, it got dark pretty quick, so I put the lights on. Hopefully you can still see me. So, bartering items. Now, I got a list of 12 here. I could have made loads. Now, there will be a few that I've missed, and I'm sure you can put them in the comments below and let me know about it. And what I've done, I've arranged some of them in a group. So instead of itemizing every single item, yeah, you'd be here all night talking about that. So I've cut it down to 12. So we're just waiting for that water to come to the boil for my drink. We'll make our start on the list. So here's my number one of my top 12 items for barter for an SHTF situation. So the first item is alcohol. Alcohol and tobacco. I'll put the two together. You could separate them. Now, you're not talking big bottles of alcohol. You're talking small individual bottles. Now with tobacco, again, you could split that down to any sizes you want. Now, why would you trade this? Well, addiction. Isn't it? Some people have addiction to alcohol, tobacco, or nicotine. Plus, it's a luxury item, isn't it, as well? Alcohol, it stores forever as well. As long as there's a certain strength, it will never go off. And these little bottles don't take up much room to store as well. Plus, alcohol has got medicinal properties, isn't it? You know, clean out wounds and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, a great tradable item. And this is why tobacco and alcohol is my number one on the list for barterable items for an SHTF situation. Now, number two on the list is something you can store indefinitely. As long as you keep it dry. It's got loads of different uses around the house, for food preserving, you know, for taste, you name it. It's got loads of different uses. So what is number two on the list for barterable items? That's salt. This particular one's sea salt. Yeah, it's great. Like I say, it will store indefinitely if you store it correctly, that is. Add a bit of this to your food supplies, adds a bit of taste, doesn't it? But salt water, you know, if you've got problems in your mouth, bleeding, whatever it is, a bit of salt water cleans it all off. So loads of different uses for salt. And human beings have been trading salt for thousands of years. You know, the old saying, you're worth your weight in salt. Yeah, so a great item. You can buy it in bulk bags, split it down into mylar bags. You can buy them in small sachets, you know, keep them dry, isn't it? Keep away from any moisture. You can buy them in little jars like this. Salt comes in loads of different forms and sizes, but it's a great bartering item, I think, anyway. That's why it's my number two for my top 12 bartering items. Salt. Right, so what's number three on the list? Well, that's hygiene products. So you're talking things like soap. You could be talking razors, toothpaste, little toothbrush, like these little folding ones. Plus your female hygiene products. I think you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to go into it too much detail. But yeah, all them essential items for hygiene. Keep things clean, wash your clothes, everything. So yeah, that's what makes me think soap and hygiene products is a very good item for bartering. So that's my number three on the top 12 bartering items. Soap and hygiene products. Now, what's number four on the list? Well, this item covers a huge variety of things. And that's food. Non-perishable food. we need to eat, don't we? And non-perishable food is obviously a necessity, isn't it, in any situation. So what sort of food are we looking at? Well, it could be a range of different things. Obviously things that can store long term, isn't it? Like rice, a staple food. Add loads of things to it to make a meal. Sugar, you know, everybody loves something sweet, don't they? You can buy them in sachets, buy big bags, split it down. Spices, these dried spices. I'm making a shadow all the time, aren't I? Dried spices, yeah, it's right having rice and pasta, that sort of stuff, but add a bit of flavour to it. Goes a long way, doesn't it? Freeze-dried food. Comes in loads of different varieties, doesn't it? You could use a pouch like this as a tradable item, can't you? Other things like sweets, boiled sweets, chocolate. We've got dark chocolate, these are ration pack dark chocolates. Anything like that, any luxuries, they'll be well sought after, won't they? Your freeze-dried coffees, even milk powder, and good old tins of Spam. Just imagine what you could get for a tin of Spam after the nuclear bombs were dropped, isn't it? You'd be like a king amongst men if you had loads of tins of Spam, wouldn't you? So yeah, ideal, barterable or tradable item. Now these items, they're in no particular order of importance, but the next one is extremely important. I'd like to think so anyway. And that's water filtration. So yeah, water filtration, we need water. We need clean, safe drinking water, don't we? So you can store X amount of water, but that'll only last so long, won't it? So once all your clean water's gone, you're looking at rainwater, river water, whatever sort of water you can find. And you've got to make sure it's safe to drink. So things like purification tablets, you know, packs of these little strips have 10 tablets in it. So, you know, that's 10 litres of clean water there. You got your filter straws, you got your Millbank bags, you got your Berkey filters, you got your LifeSaver filters. Obviously the larger, more expensive water filters will filter a lot more water. You can barter or trade them for a lot more goods and services, can you? But something like the Life Straw, yeah, you're a relatively cheap product, but for someone, you know, that's gallons and gallons of clean drinking water, isn't it? So yeah, clean, safe drinking water. If you've got the means to do it, giving someone the ability to get clean, safe drinking water is a great bartering item, isn't it? Water's nearly come to the boil. I'll make myself a hot chocolate in a minute. But before we do, we're halfway there. So number 6 is batteries and fuel. Now this covers a lot of things. Fuel could be obviously your diesel, your petrol, could be paraffin for lamps, could be your fire dragon fuel for cooking, you know, packs of 6 blocks, relatively cheap. Batteries, you could barter one battery if you wanted, it depends on what people have got, you know, their head torches or radios, whatever they need batteries for. Now, there's only so long you can store certain types of fuel, isn't it? But batteries you could store for a long time, like say the paraffin or lamp oil, even gas for cookers, all that sort of stuff, all that fuel, what people need for cooking, for heating. I suppose you could even class firewood as a fuel, couldn't you? If you had a situation where you got plenty of wood, you got the means to split it, dry it, store it, you know, you could use that as a bartering item, couldn't you? So people aren't going to have all their modern technology in that sort of situation, but they still will have certain items they want to keep. You know, maybe radios, walkie-talkies, torches. So yeah, keeping a ruck of batteries for trading or bartering and a little bit of fuel, if you've got means of storing it, is a good idea. And that's why it's number 6 on my list of top 12 items for bartering in an SHTF situation. Right, my water has come to the boil. Hot chocolate. That's it. Got it. All mixed up. Ooh, it smells nice. In with a bit of Fireball. I never had this stuff before I started doing the campfire talks, but yeah, I like it. I'll leave a little bit for next time, I think. Oh yeah. Right, what are we up to? Number 7, isn't it? Number 7 on the list. That is first aid supplies and medications. Now, just like food, this could cover a huge array of items, can it? From your bandages, like this Israeli bandage, field dressings, your run-of-the-mill plasters, or band-aids, for some reason they're called, I don't know why. Yeah, all sorts of bandages, dressings, burn gels, burn dressings, all that sort of good stuff for first aid, but also medications. Things like Calpol for kids, you know, like a paracetamol, pain relief, all sorts of pain medications you can keep. Now even things like EpiPens, you might not need them yourself, but someone might need them, so it's a great barterable item, isn't it? And along the same sort of lines as inhalers, again, you might not need them yourself, but someone might need them. Antihistamines, tablets, you know, creams, all that sort of stuff. You may not need them yourself, but someone might need them. Now there is a question how long the medications last for and how good they are when they have been stored a long time. But if you have got a load of paracetamol saved or pain relief or whatever it is, something's got to be better than nothing, isn't it? And until the day you learn how to forage in the wild for some natural remedies, having a good supply of medications and first aid equipment is a good idea. That's why it's number 7 on my list of top 12 items you could barter in an SHTF situation. Oh. So number 8 on my list of the top 12 bartered items you could store for an emergency situation, SHTF, is precious metals. Now I know not everybody has got the ability to store precious metals, but even just a few, you know, silver sovereigns or these little silver bars don't cost a huge amount. You can store loads of these in very little space. You get gold, but again, these little 1 gram, I think 1 gram bars, leave them in their packets and just trade them as they are, isn't it? So yeah, silver, gold, but it could be things like jewellery, platinum and all that sort of stuff as well. And you always hear the argument about, well, you can't eat gold, you can't eat precious metals, you can't eat silver, you know, you'd rather have food than silver and gold. Well, yes, that is true, but you've got to remember, human beings, we've been trading in precious metals, silver and gold for thousands of years, haven't we? And yes, it's not something you could use on a day-to-day basis, but it's something we can trade in. Yes, it comes with its own problems. You know, who determines what it's worth, isn't it? How can you tell fake from real? This is why if you buy them like this, you know it's the genuine article and it's been messed with. Same as the Britannias or the, what's shiny, isn't it? Or the maples, all that sort of stuff. You know that's the real deal, don't you? So yeah, precious metals. Some people like them, some people don't. Not everybody has got the ability to store them or buy them. But if you can, it's a great investment, I think, and well worth keeping as a bartering item, even if you don't have a lot of it. So yeah, that was my number 8 on the list. Precious metals. Now, what's number 9? Again, it's something which is pulled together, and it can mean a lot of things, and that's tools. Now, it could be tools for chopping wood, like this axe, beavercraft, used this before to get the fire going. Could be saws. It could also mean just a multi-tool. Could be torches. Could be a knife, like this Zapas tactical knife. Could even be a tin opener. It could be gardening tools. It could be maintenance tools. It could be rope, paracord. It could be any number of things, couldn't it? Someone needs a job that he's doing and they haven't got a tool for it, and you have. You could barter that tool, as long as you've got spare or you don't need it, for something else, can you? That's what it's all about. It's the ability to trade something that you may not want, but someone else does. And you could trade that for something that you want that someone else has got and they don't want it. That's, in a nutshell, what it is, isn't it? So that's my number 9 on the list of 12 items for bartering for SHTF, and that's tools. Well, what's my number 10 on the list? Well, that's something it could have been in the last one. It could have been in the tools, but I want to keep it separate because these are a brilliant item. Very small, very cheap, compact. They don't take up any room, and they're used the world over every single day. One of the best things to get a fire going, that's a lighter. You can buy these in bulk, cheap as chips. When your chips are quite expensive these days, aren't they? But yeah, lighters. People always ask me when they come to the shop, oh, what's the best thing you got to start a fire? There's nothing better than a lighter, innit? You know, refillable. So if you don't, again, if you've got the fuel, as we mentioned before, these lighters are brilliant. Now, the ability to cook on a fire, get warm on a fire, it could be worth a lot in an SHTF situation. That's why it's number 10 on my list of bartering items. The lighter. Shit to it. It's all going in. Oh yeah. Right, we're nearly there. Number 11. All the items we've said so far. Now, there's only a finite to them, isn't there? Except for the tools, maybe. Especially if you've got somebody who can make them, fix them, whatever. But at some point, food will run out, won't it? You know, your filters will break down. Your booze is going to run out. You might have spent all your gold in silver. But number 11, this item, can regenerate itself if you do it properly. Every year, you can have some more of it, and you can use it again. year after year after year, as long as you know what you're doing. And that's seeds. This is a survival seed bank. For around about £20, you've got 6,000 seeds. So again, once they've grown, they're going to produce more seeds, which you can harvest, isn't it? And then replant year after year after year, as long as you're after each gardening. So seeds, yeah, a great item. This is why they got them in vaults in Iceland or Greenland somewhere for future generations, because seeds mean food, doesn't it? An endless supply of food. Food which you then can use yourself or trade, isn't it? Barter. Seeds you can use for bartering as well. If you've got plenty of them, obviously excess seeds that you don't need, you could trade them, can't you? To someone else who can start a garden. What's the old saying? If you buy a man a fish, you can eat, but if you teach a man how to fish, you can eat more fish, or whatever it is, I don't know. So if you've got a garden or a way of gardening, instead of just having one meal, you keep planting seeds. You've got meal after meal after meal, haven't you? So number 11 of my list of bartering items, seeds. Oh. Now, I know there's going to be loads on the list that you probably thought of and I haven't put on my list. And a list of items I'm sure will change depending on where you are in the world, isn't it? I know I've left certain things like ammunition, crossbows, bolts, all that sort of stuff. I've left that off the list. But if you want to put it on your list, or put it in the comments below what I've missed off, or what you would choose as your, say, top 10 or top 5 items, I'll be happy to have a look. I say I can't list everything in the world, isn't it? There's only so much stuff. I was going to keep it down to 10 at first, but it ended up being 12. So what is number 12? Well, it's something you can't actually store. And it's something you may have and other people haven't got it. And that's skills and labour. Now I can hear you saying, now what the hell are you on about skills and labour? Well, you might have a certain skill that someone needs to do something, you know, at their location or whatever. You could be a builder, their roof needs fixing. You might be a mechanic and some sort of machinery they got needs fixing. You could even be a doctor or a nurse and someone needs treatment. You could be a reality TV star and someone needs a bit of entertainment. No matter what it is, skills can be traded for one another, can't they? Can either be traded for items, such as food and whatever, or for other skills. You know, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Not literally, but yeah, you come and fix my leaky roof and I'll come and fix your car. You know, that sort of thing. Labour, it comes down to it as well. Time is money, isn't it? So if you're doing some work for someone, you're digging over a garden for them, or whatever you're doing, that time can be traded for something else, can't it? It's how it was done years and years ago, wasn't it? Before the fiat currencies and all that, and definitely before these central bank digital currencies come in. Yeah, I think it's a very important one. Having the skills and ability to help each other out is a must in any situation. It doesn't have to be a survival situation or a grid down situation, SHTF situation. You could do this at any time, can you? And with that is community as well, isn't it? Helping each other out. You know, someone might come to you with a problem. You say, well, I can't fix that problem, but I know someone who can. And he comes and fixes your problem. You fix this for me, and I'll give that to him. And then everybody's happy, aren't they? No money or goods has changed hands, but skills, time, and labour has. And everybody's a winner, aren't they? As long as both parties agree to it, what it's worth, and they're happy to do so. So that's it. That's my little list. Like I said before, I'm sure you've got others. Just to recap them: tobacco and alcohol, salt, soap and hygiene products, food, loads of different varieties of food, water purification and filters, batteries and fuel of all sorts, medications and first aid supplies, precious metals, tools, seeds, lighters, and the last one, skills and labour. So that's it, guys. That's my campfire talk over and done with. Have I got any hot chocolate left? Well, it's mostly whiskey now. Fire's out. The list is complete. If you haven't done so already, please think about liking, subscribing, hit the notification bell. And if you want to see some more videos, check that one out. And that one. And I'll catch you next time. All the best.